Good morning, class. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to look at lesson 14, the mini project, which is an animated scene. If we look at this right here, we'll reset run. We have what kind of music do planets sing? And then we get Neptunes as that answer. Okay, so it's kind of a fun little way to make this joke happen, right? We've got the words going back and forth, this little alien kind of shaking back and forth. And then if I restart it, we have the answer come up off the screen so we can see it with the other alien. So we've got these words moving. We got the aliens moving. So truthfully, in this, we have the two different words moving different ways, and we have these aliens moving different ways. We also have these shapes that are planets and the background. So let's look at what we got to do to pass this assignment. All right, we're going to jump into the rubric right here. When we look at this, we got the program development. You sequence the program well and properly separated code in and out of the draw loop. So remember, some of our code should be inside the draw loop, the things that are changing, and then some of our stuff should be outside the draw loop. That's like where we're making our sprites and things like that. So, excuse me, we should have the code separated the way it should be. Modularity, right? Sprites and sprite properties. We have at least two sprites created. So two sprites, and we saw the two sprites on that quick example, the aliens, each with at least one property updated in the draw loop. As we watched, the one alien scrolled up the screen. So that was one way it was moving. That was on the counter pattern. The other was kind of rotating back and forth, and that was on a random number, and it was rotating back and forth. So, position and movement, at least two shapes. Now, we saw they had three, but you have to have at least two. You need to have two sprites. We already talked about that up here, and two lines of text. Don't forget your text. All placed correctly on the screen using your coordinate system. And at least two elements move in different ways. Now, we watch the aliens move in different ways. We also watch the text move. Sorry about that. So that variable right here, right? At least two non-sprite variables are created, and that's where we were getting the motion for the text. All right, and it's updated in that draw loop. Again, I would recommend referring to this. Here's all the different ways we can make changes, right? That draw loop with our sprites, our X, our Y, rotation, scale, tint, alpha, width, height. This can all make some changes happen to our sprite. So with the counter pattern that we're seeing here, X equals X plus 1, that created the smooth motion of that alien scrolling up the screen. Although instead of it being an X equals X, it was sprite.y equals sprite.y plus 1. So we can use this counter pattern to make different things happen. We could make our sprites grow or shrink with a scale on the counter pattern. So we can make some really cool things. Let's jump into this. Now remember, if you're watching my video and you turn this in for a grade, if you're turning in my help video, it's with help on your grade, right? With help. So we're doing standard basic rating. And when you produce what I produce, that's with help. So this is a help video to help you create something. Now, you can always build on what I show you, take what you've learned, and then build more, build better. Okay? When we look at this, it says first, make the background. Now, the easiest background is just to do a drawing background. So I'm just going to grab this. This starts with white. I might do, let's start with light blue. I'm going to close that so we can see it. I hit run. There's our light blue. I think I'm going to do a shape, kind of a sun looking thing up here. This will be similar to what they produced, but not quite the same. Like I said, we always want to be producing something a little bit different than what we're showing. We want to have some of our own creativity. I'm going to do yellow. I like that for a sun. Okay. And I'm going to grab an ellipse. There's my ellipse. Now I'm going to want it up here in this corner. And when I look, that's like 300. It could actually be 400, 0. So we could put that, right? 400, 0. Do you see that down in the bottom down here? And then I want my size. I'm going to make it fairly large because half of it or most of it will be off, like 3/4 of it will be off the screen. So I went 200, 200. And there's my sun. I like that. That looks pretty good right there. Now, we're going to go ahead, and that was one shape. Now I need another shape. And I think I'm going to put some grass at the bottom. So here we go. Let's do a fill of green. And I'm just going to grab a rectangle, or could do a regular polygon, but I'll do a rectangle. There it is. And I'm going to want it to be down here. I'm going to start from, if I turn on my grid, gives me an idea. I'm going to go right there. So that'll be 0, 350. So 0, and 350. Now 200, 200 looks like that. It's not all the way across, right? So I want my, if I look at it, we've got our width and our height. I want my width to come across. So I want to go all the way across. So that's 400. And my height, I think I'm good with that. So there it is. Now I could turn this to 50. It is a little, there's some of it that's not showing on the screen because it's down here. 200 would have put it down about there. Now it's the size of that square. So there we go. We've got step 2, bubble 2 done. If I go to bubble 3 or level 3, we say create your sprites. Add or draw at least 2 sprite animations in the animation tab. Create at least 2 sprites and assign each one an animation. So here we go. I'm going to go into my animation. I'm going to just grab this. And they were showing the aliens. I'm not sure. Where they were. So here are the aliens they had. We'll grab this one. Alien green jump, done. And we'll go get another one. I don't even remember which one they had. And we'll just grab, I like this guy. He's kind of got a little happy face on there. Done. Here we go. We got these little guys on there. Now, create your sprites. It says, set the value for any sprite property you'd like to use. So try to use at least one sprite value, such as rotation, scale, tint, or any others in the toolbox with each of your sprites, and then draw them to the screen. So here we go. I like to create these at the very top, and that's where I'm going to put this. So I'm going to call this green. Now I can't do a space there, remember? Alien. So I got green alien. Now I'm going to get a sprite animation. So set. And I'm just going to copy and paste this in there. And again, green alien. And I did camel case in there. And then I got his animation. And he is the green alien. Now if I hit run, I'm not seeing my alien yet. And that's because I have not drawn him to the screen. So I'm going to grab that draw sprite and I'm going to draw him to the screen. Reset, run. There he is. Do I like him up there? I think this little guy, it is jumping, it said, so I might leave him up there. Now I got to get my other sprite on the screen. So I'm going to grab my next one. And this is pink. And I'm just going to call him pink, right? We can name them what we want. So here's pink. And there's my pink alien. Now we can see that they're on top of each other. I want my pink alien probably down around here. So I'm going to put in 6320 and see what happens. 6320. Is that where I want him? Excuse me, guys. I like that. He's kind of looks like he's on the ground. The other one's up in the air. Nice. Very good. So I did that. Now, have I done anything with their properties yet? Not really. Their scale, everything's the same. And I know they say to do that now, but here's the thing. I know I want that to happen inside the draw loop. And maybe I should go back and see if they said create a draw loop. Maybe I'm just not following all my instructions. First, make your background, okay, for your scene by using the draw or the background command to fill the screen with a color. Add shapes. Nope, they didn't say to do that. So let's go on to 4. They say add the text. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see what happens. Oh, add the movement. So here we go. I'm going to add my text. I'm going to hit run so I can kind of see where everything's at. And I'm going to grab my drawing. I'm going to get a color because I want my text to be, I like yellow. We're going to grab yellow for a color for my first one. I'm going to grab a text size. Remember, we want our color and our size before we create our text. And our text here that says string there, what do we want? I'm going to say, we. And I want to kind of buy this guy right in here. So I'm going to do 250, 150. 250, 150. Reset, run. There it is. That's a little hard to see. So let's make this a little bigger. Might take it up to 20. There we go. I can see it. The colors might not be great, but for now I can see it. Maybe a white would be better. There we go. That's a little better. And now this little guy down here is going to say, go, 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 or something like that, right? Kind of cheering him on. So I'm going to change my text size. I grabbed my text first, but I wanted text size. And we're going to make this one like he's really cheering. So it's going to be 30. And he's going to be saying, go, go, go. And I'm even going to put an exclamation point at the back of that one. And I want it to be right around in here. So I'm going to say right around, well, we'll do 100, 300. 100, 300. And we'll see if we need to play with that. Go, go, go. Yeah, I like that. Now, I can see that the first one, he was building up a little bit, but I'm going to make it a capital G2. Reset, run. There we go. There we go. We got our text. We got our aliens. They're hanging out. Now we need to add our movement, it says. So here we go. It says the final piece of your scene is to animate your scene by adding movement. Add movement to your sprites, text, or drawn shapes. Include one type of random movement. Include one type of counter pattern movement. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do that. I know I need a draw loop. Okay, this draw function has got to happen. I know my sprites have got to be inside there. Okay, anything that's going to move is going to go inside there. I'm going to start by making my sprites move. The little pink alien down here, he's going to be on that random movement. He's going to rotate back and forth like he's just really cheering his friend on. So I'm going to go into sprites. I'm going to do a rotation. Remember, I want this to happen up above. This is pink. And we're going to do a random number. What am I doing? And we're going to do a 1 to 10. Let's see what that looks like. He's moving a little bit, but not much. I can't really see. So I'm going to do a negative 10 to a positive 10. Let's see if that gets the motion I want. There he goes. Now you can see he's kind of smearing. I don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and drag my background down. And he's going to be, the background's going to go above my sprite. There we go. Whoa, what did I do? I got him moving, but guess what? Now I've lost my text. I've lost my shape because my background is down here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to start moving this stuff back in. So all this could have saved myself a lot of work by creating my draw sprite first. And I'm not quite sure why they didn't tell us to do that first. Remember, there's some stuff that should be inside, some stuff that should be outside. Well, so far, all this stuff I'm putting in should be inside. Reset run. There we go. Looks good again. We got our little alien cheering, just dancing away for him jumping. Now, our green alien, I want him to look like he jumps. So he's going to be on the counter pattern. And he's going to be going up. Now, he's going to go up, up, and away. So we're going to grab the sprite. He is green alien, right? I could have typed that, but I'm lazy. Now, whoa, what am I doing? I'm not creating a sprite. I'm doing a sprite.y because he is jumping up. Woo, boy, did I almost mess up there. Now, I'm not doing another random number. I'm doing the counter pattern, so I need math. And he's going up, so that is, as I watch, I can see my y is getting smaller. So that is a sprite. That is a subtraction, getting smaller. Then we got sprite y, and he is green alien. And we're going to do like a 2. We want him to go somewhat fast. Reset run. There he goes. Up, up, and away. Now, I like that, but I want him to start down on the bottom. I want him to start down here like pink is. So instead of being at 200 to start, he's going to be at 200 because he's in the middle of the screen. And he is going to come at 320 also. Let's see what that looks like. There he goes. Boom, I like that motion. Looking good. Now, I don't like him necessarily going way up, up, and away. I want him to go up, up, and away, but I'm going to also give him another. I'm going to put an X counter pattern on him. He's green alien. And I'm going to do a counter pattern again. This time I'm going to do an addition because I'm doing sprite.x and I want him to go this way away from the other alien. So he's jumped. Whoa, I already did that. I need to get a sprite.x again. And he is the green alien. And we're going to do a 1. He's going to go a little slower sideways. Reset run. Now he's jumping at an angle away from me. I like that. I think I'll speed him up a little bit going higher. He is a little slow. Reset run. There we go. Whee! He's up, up, and away. He's going a little faster up and still going sideways. I like it. So now, one thing we got to do, we're going to make the word we jump with him. So I'm going to create a variable. And I'm going to do that outside, and it's going to be text, x. Oh man, did I ever mess up? Lowercase, then an uppercase x, text x. There we go. And we're going to start down around 320 because that's where my alien's x is starting. And then down here, I'm going to do a counter pattern on x. And I'm just going to throw that in up here. And that was text, capital X. And it's doing a counter pattern. So I want it to look just the same. So I'm going to do math. And my x is going up by 1. So I'm going to do text x plus 1. Now, I haven't used it yet. I've created this variable, but do you see my do you see my x is at 250? I'm going to put that at text x. So now I'm using that variable. Reset, run, and my words are running off the screen before I'm ready. Ooh, let's not do that. See, they're up there. They're jumping off the screen before I'm ready. So I'm going to bring them down to 320 also. That's where my little guy is. And they're over here. They're still going a little fast. I'm going to slow these down to 0.5. And then we're going to make them go up as well. So now I need a text Y. And that one will be at 200. I don't know. I'm just putting in a number. Same thing. Now here's the cool thing. I could copy this, Control C, and then you see where the black mark is right there. That's where my cursor is. Control V. Now I'm going to do text Y. Text. Whoa, I did a capital. Text Y. And I don't want addition this time. I'm going to go to text. I'm going to change addition and make that subtraction because it's going to go up also. Going back to block. And ooh, it changed the color of it on me. We're going to make this go up quicker. So I'm going to put a 2 on there. Now, we're going to see what happens. Reset, run. There it goes. Now it's moving, but I haven't used text Y. We're going to go down to our we, and I'm going to put this at text Y. I did it again. I keep putting that capital at the beginning. Reset, run. Now we's going up with him, right? I'm going to move him over a little bit. I want my Y. Is that 3? I think I have Y set at 320. Maybe I'm going to come over. I want my X on my words to come over around 150. Okay. So on here, my text X was at 320. I'm going to set this at 150. This at 320. Let's see what happens. Oh, now we can't see our we because I put it right on top of him. So we do need to move that text. Let's put the text up a little bit higher to begin with. We're going to go at let's try 250. There we go. It's up above, and now we're kind of overtaking it. I'm good with that. Let's make it go over sideways a little quicker. So my text Y is going to move faster now. We'll do a 2 there also. Reset, run. We're catching it. We're passing. That looks pretty good. Okay, here's the thing. I've pretty well completed this. Okay. So this has been pretty well completed. What you need to do, more shapes, right? I've got one line of text. I think you could get this other text doing something cool also. And maybe a shape. Use the same thing, right? Oh man, look what I did there. That should have a var in front of it. Boy, what am I doing here? We're going to put var. Then I did a capital again. Var text Y. That's why I was getting that. Did you see how there was little reset, run? It's still getting that same motion, but did you see how there was little triangles, yellow triangles? That's where my mistake was. Anyway, this has pretty well got you to the point where you could pass this with some extra, right? Another shape. I've only got one shape. It requires 2. You guys go through, make this your own, okay? I know you guys have some great ideas. Make something cool. Enjoy what you're doing and have a great day.